Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on an applique that uses at least 2 or more fabrics. Today I have chosen a design by JuJu and it is called a gumdrop animal, and I have chosen the dog, and this specific applique only requires 2 different fabrics. There are many different ways to tell how much fabric you will need for a specific design. But for this setup, you can tell on the computer that you're going to need 2 different fabrics. And the way you can tell is that there's one color thread for the ears, the eyes, and the paws. And there's another color thread for the body itself. And you can see the outlines. And inside these blank areas, that's where you're going to put your fabric. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we have our first placement stitch, and for the purposes of this tutorial, I did the placement stitch in black so you can see exactly where we need to put our fabric. And today I have chosen a nice little polka dot fabric for our dog. So I'm going to place it right over our placement stitch. And now we're going to do our tack down stitch. Okay, now we have our tack down stitch that went all the way around right on top of the placement stitch, and we're going to take our nice applique scissors and cut all the way around this first placement. Okay, now we have our excess fabric cut away from our pattern, and I cut as close to the line as possible. And now we're going to do our next placement stitch for our second piece of fabric. Alright, here's where we have our second placement stitch, and you're going to be placing your second fabrics here for the dog ears, for the eye, and for the 2 paws. And then this actually shows you where it's going to stitch in for the nose and the mouth. So I've chosen a dark brown fabric for the paws. It's got a little crackle in it. And then to contrast the white with the brown dots, I have chosen the opposite, brown with white dots. Then you're just going to place them right over your placement lines. And then here's where I would say the fun part is that's where you play with your different fabrics and your placements, because the different patterns on the fabrics can completely change the way an applique looks and the design itself. So I have chosen to do 2 smaller dots to try to get them inside the circle so it can show a little bit of that brown with the white dots. Okay, I've got everything placed. Okay, let's start our tack down stitch. Okay, the second tack down stitch is complete. Can't really tell at the bottom because I used a darker fabric, but up here you can definitely see the outline of the ears and the eyes. So we're going to do the same process as we did before. We're going to cut away this excess fabric, and we're going to have basically the fabric part of the applique done. I've cleared all the excess fabric from away from the design, and you can see it's really starting to take shape now. And now for my favorite part, the finishing stitch. This is where you're really going to see the design come to life. And here we have our finished design. Satin Stitch did a beautiful job going all the way around our edges to completely finish our edges. And now you have a gorgeous design that you can be used for multiple different things like baby blankets, quilts, anything you can think of. And with different fabric choices, patterns, and thread color combinations, you can make a variety of the same design, but it looks like a different dog. And that's the beauty of having applique. You can take a design and change the fabric, change the colors, and you can do so many different embroidery designs from one specific design. I hope you found this informative and can't wait to see what you guys have done.